and difficult moment as we head into the Passover season. And a lot of you have heavy hearts knowing you can't be together with the people that you love most, that you can't invite people in to your Seders. So I thought I would talk about what it would mean, what it means next week. I have in front of me a whole Passover setup. Actually, just a couple of minutes ago, Cantor Frank and I led a virtual Passover Seder on Zoom that we're hoping to get to you. And I actually had a setup and complete with candles. We have wine. I have a whole Seder plate here. And we also have the matzah and the maror and Elijah's cup. But I wanted to talk through with you a little bit about what a Passover experience could be like during this time where we're sequestered mostly to our homes, where we're not able to invite people in, to give you some options. Because I know I've already received several calls from congregants. This is really heavy on your minds and could be really a source of sadness. So first of all, getting everything ready for Passover is so much more complicated than normal. And just cleaning and preparation might be very different. So think outside of the box. Don't expect to have exactly what you need, but make do with what you have. For example, we don't actually have any parsley in the house, and I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to get before next week. So I have cilantro. That might be an idea of something that you could use. We have some spinach and some kale to also use potentially as either maror or karpas as the bitter herbs, or the parsley or the greenery that we need. If you don't have any of that, go outside, get some grass. Do what you can, and try not to feel guilty, because I know it's just so natural to feel guilty in this moment. For example, I didn't prepare charoset yet, and Shir will be preparing. Hopefully we'll get the manischewitz she needs for it. But I just have an apple. Luckily we still have that. I have an orange. The shank bone might be difficult to get a hold of. We actually have beets in the house that are available. Cantor, in our virtual Seder, she held up a yam to serve as in that function. And just really, think creatively outside of the box. That's actually what our ancestors were known to do. I have actual maror because we never use it, and it just goes in our refrigerator, and so it's still good. But see what you can use at your own Seders. Another idea that we came up with during our virtual Seder is that you might not have the Haggadot that you need. So actually, we just led a Seder using multiple Haggadot. I have here the Reform one, which is available online through the URJ, and I have the Reconstructionist one, which is also available through the Reconstructionist movement. And it's okay. The Seder, the way it works, is you don't have to all have the same Haggadah. Actually, many people use multiple ones because it's kind of fun that way. I also recommend this year, I used a site and I posted it on our Facebook feed called haggadot.com. haggadot.com, and I actually had a chance to Zoom with the creators of that site. It's a free site; they just rely on donations, and it's really easy if you want to put something together, either to print out or even share virtually. Because one of the major tools that we can use right now is, of course, our phone. I'm seeing where I put my phone. Oh, it's in the other room. Because we're not able to invite people into our homes, but maybe, just maybe, you can call them on the phone, set up Skype or FaceTime or Zoom. Actually, Zoom allows for free setting up a 40-minute block of time that you can invite others to, and especially if there's only a few, that's a way of video conferencing. I've also found out from my kids there's something called Google Meetup. So just investigate what's available because it really isn't the same having a Seder with just a few people. I feel really blessed that at least we have my immediate family with my kids here, and my wife, of course. But it's really not the same to try to lead our Seders without people present. So I encourage you to try to reach out to people. Reach out to people that don't have a Seder option. See if you know of someone who's feeling more isolated. I was talking to some Weinberg residents who really caught there. They might appreciate a call, but many others really aren't able to get out of their homes at all. I also would try to see how the rituals of the Passover Seder and Passover could really work to help us to process what's going on. Things like the plagues take on a whole different meaning, or the questions, the manishtana. We have so many questions about what's going on. Write them down. It's okay, by the way, before you even start, to say, I'm really, really frustrated that I can't be with my loved ones. I'm really frustrated how difficult and how hard this is. I'm really frustrated that people are sick and scared. And it's okay to put that out in the world. And I think if other people listen, certainly I believe that God listens, that we need to not be alone and really just expressing yourself. But I think also bringing some humor. I brought different, we have some costumes down. I don't have a pharaoh's costume, but I have a king. I have a little thing for beasts. You can use what you have. Really get creative. See what works for you. And try to adapt the rituals so that it makes sense for you today. Because I know how hard this is. It is really hard. And I feel terrible for all of us going through this. I feel terrible for the most isolated. We're lucky. We feel so many blessings. We have a roof over our head. We have food. But so many people are not in that situation. They're worried economically. Maybe you have lost a job and you're worried about hardships that are coming up in the future. I think this world has really been shaken. And of course, we send out a lot of love to our healthcare providers and everyone who's out there working so hard to make sure just the simplest things of life. It's so funny. Putting together our large Passover Seder is always a joyous thing. And it's always hard, and I always want it to be better than it is, just as that's often true of someone leading something. But I miss it so much. I so much wish that we could gather together with Johnny C's and all of us in the same room. I so much wish that you guys could gather in your own little collections, however it is. Tell us the stories also of what you're doing and what you have been doing. Tell us any lessons. Let's learn from each other. Let's become a learning community and teach one another. Certainly, I, like so many of you, have had to learn so many things on the fly about how to use computers and technology in a new way. We can teach one another and we can be there for one another just sending lots of well wishes. The last thing I'll say is about cleaning. This is, in our household, the hardest, most stressful thing that we go through. Just be kind to yourself. Make sure to clean your hands as much as possible. On our virtual Seder, Cantor did a couple of nigunim talking about really using that 30 seconds, maybe even singing Manishtana to it. I just send lots of prayers your way, and I look forward to the day when we can once again see each other in person. Take care, love everyone, and just sending lots of good thoughts your way as we head into Passover.